A lot of the time I'd be thinking to myself, is this it? I sit around grinding out these videos that nobody watches. I game, I work out, I even read, but daily life is still so monotonous. Most people's days consist of working a dead-end job.
Welcome to McDonald's. I hate my life.
Sitting alone in a dark room playing Simp Simulator, then losing their money in shady crypto scams. Surely there's gotta be more to life than this. Miles Routledge,
That's so pog.
a 21-year-old student from the UK, asked himself this very question. He was in a constant state of boredom. Not even watching SpotCam videos could make him feel better. He needed a grand adventure. So Miles then did what any normal person would do, and googled the top 10 most dangerous countries in the world that he then used as a shopping list. Chernobyl? Nah, he'd already been there in 2019 and stole a gas mask brimming with radiation. South Sudan? With raging violence and dire food shortages, it sounded tempting. Afghanistan, teeming with landmines, terrorists, and home to a government so corrupt that Syed Sadat, Afghanistan's ex-minister, is now working as a Just Eat delivery driver after getting exiled from the country. Now that sounds promising. So after messaging some people and watching a few YouTube videos, Afghanistan was the one, and he deemed it fit for his adventure. But little did he know of the absolute shitstorm he was about to get himself into. Anyways, time to book those tickets. He safely landed in Kabul airport, all seemed well. US and UK troops were still around and the Taliban was nowhere to be seen. Being the artist that Miles is, he decided to document his Afghan adventure on the popular message board 4chan. It was here where users had begun to refer to him as Lord Miles. Miles came up with a plan so autistic, it's actually pretty impressive. He illegally purchased some fake documents containing fake proof that he was a lord. He then put on his best suit, walked down to the local bank and managed to persuade them that he was indeed Lord Miles Routledge, and got the title printed on all his bank cards. Mission complete. Not only did he do this to impress the Afghan hotties, he also believed the title of Lord would make the Taliban less likely to kill him if captured, as it gave them negotiating power. Miles was having a beautiful time in Kabul, seeing the sights, enjoying the local cuisine, and shitposting it all on the internet for the world to see. This was at the exact same time that the merciless Taliban were quickly closing in on the capital, killing anyone who got in their way. After hearing a few too many gunshots and explosions than what he was comfortable with, Miles decided his holiday was over. It was time to leave, but his flight had been cancelled, so he made his way over to the UK embassy to try to get the fuck out of Afghanistan.
Please fucking let me in, I've got tea and crumpets.
But the embassy was empty. In fact, it was evacuated days prior. Well, fuck. Miles had to come up with a plan, and that he did. The airport was the only way out. Miles, having a tour guide with him, did what any sane person would have done. It was stealth mission time, boys. He slapped on a burqa and pretended to be the tour guide's wife, using this as a disguise to sneak past unsuspecting Taliban who had now taken control of most of Kabul. The plan, as retarded as it was a success. The Taliban were fooled by his ingenious disguise.
Holy shit bro, she's pretty hot.
And Miles made it all the way to the airport, but was soon told to fuck off because all flights had been cancelled. Back to the safe house it was. It was here that Miles started doing something very retarded, even for his standards, and proceeded to live stream on Twitch.
When I decided, goofing off in Afghanistan, sounds good, telling the Taliban to suck my dick.
Miles, now beginning to realise that his safe house was now just a house, began having a mental breakdown. He was scared, vulnerable and desperate, so he began to speak to some journalists. Being the true autist Miles is, in this panic state he began telling the journalists some very personal information, such as the full name of his interpreter, which was then published in an online article for all to see. Not only had this interpreter assisted a British retard, but also the Afghan government, both enemies of the Taliban, and if they were to find him, there's only really one outcome. Luckily, after people began realising just how autistic this truly was, they managed to get the article wiped from the internet, surely saving the interpreter's life. However, death might have been preferable to having Miles constantly showing him morbid funnies. Miles was sitting in his not so safe house shitposting on Discord servers when he heard a knock at the door. After cleaning himself up from shitting his pants, a scared, trembling Miles answered. Oh thank fuck. It's just some friendly Afghan soldiers, and they were here to help. The Afghan soldiers gave Miles some body armour and a fucking assault rifle. Lord Miles now had a machine gun. Later reports from the Afghan soldiers confirmed that Miles tried to trickshot the Taliban for Twitch donations. Miles, now carrying a military-grade assault rifle with his newfound Afghan friends, made their way to a new safe house. And then, silence. Miles, an avid online shitposter who streamed and documented his Afghan adventure online for all to see, had now gone days without a shitpost, and everyone assumed he was killed. But they need not be so worried. The date was August 16th, 2021, and the journey had come to an end. Miles has successfully sweet-talked himself on board a flight to Dubai, But unfortunately for him, he once again had to make the treacherous journey to the airport. Far more dangerous this time around, as Kabul had fallen to the Taliban forces. Miles was going to have to use that gun. The countless hours he put into Modern Warfare 2 were surely about to pay off. Yeah, unfortunately it wasn't that exciting. The Taliban were so happy that they reclaimed Afghanistan after 20 years of fighting, that they just let Miles right through. They couldn't give a shit. In fact, Miles claimed that they were more than happy to even take a few selfies with him as a little souvenir.
Make sure to tag me on the gram, bro.
What friendly terrorists. And that's it. Sorry kiddies, but story time's over. Yes, Miles' tour guide may still be stuck in Kabul, fearing for the life of him and his family, along with millions of terrified Afghanis still trapped under Taliban rule. But Miles had successfully fled the country after having the time of his life, whilst also becoming a fucking legend amongst groups of online retards and degenerates. He claimed that he survived due to putting his power in Christ, who decided to save the life of one of the biggest chads I've ever seen. But is there anything we can take away from this? Although fucking hilarious, the fact that he went on holiday to Afghanistan during a humanitarian crisis whilst making a meme of the entire situation points to Miles being a complete degenerate. He's been criticised by many who think he's a selfish and entitled spastic, and others who want him stoned. That's a bit too far. So was Miles highly autistic, or just an alpha chad with huge balls? You know, I'll let yous decide.